Yeah. We get lit, we get fly, we get drunk, we get high, but to the masses, we a podcast called Verified. I'm your host. I am JopauL, and we are brought to you by Radio Pushers and ResultsAndNoHype.com. Now, I thought long and hard how I was going to bring this brother in. And I guess the only way to do that is ready on the right, the right. Ready on the left, the left. Ready on the right. Hey, yo, Chub, can I get open? You know it.
You know it. JopauL, you know it.
Here we go. We got DJ Chubby Chub in the building. Legendary DJ. I like to give my guests like their flowers, especially for their longevity in this game. And you've been going for 20, 25 years, going strong.
25.
And I know we just passed National Radio Day, and you've been a staple in radio. So happy National Radio Day, even though it is a little belated. Wanted to give you your flowers.
No, I appreciate it. It's 20 years in radio.
And that's a long time, man. Long time.
We're
gonna jump right into it. I know you're from the Bronx, represent New York. Cedric Projects, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I've done my research. Plus, I'm native New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? So, you're a staple to the hip hop community. So, we all know you.
Thank you.
Even though you moved from state to state, and in Massachusetts, in Boston, and I know that you have a solidified following there. I know you never forgot where you came from, and you rep the Bronx to death. So, so we salute you for that. So, so talk to me about your upbringing. How'd you get into music? What your parents did? How they inspired you? Stuff like that. I want to keep this interview a little bit different than some of my other interviews, and I want the people to really get to know you as a person. What shaped you into the the legendary DJ that you are today. So the floor is yours. Paint that picture.
It started with my cousins when I was young. They used to listen to Cold Crush, Fantastic Five, live tapes. These were live tapes before, people started hearing like live club tapes. These were like their performances at different venues and stuff in, Harlem, the Bronx. And they used to have these 60-minute Sony tapes, and my older cousins would have them. That was like one of the, what is that? Like, you know what I mean? And at the time, they just was like, it was hip hop. And I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Me being Puerto Rican, 100%, mother and father, I grew up just listening to salsa music. So all I knew was that, but I wasn't a fan of it. You know what I mean? Like, now I'm a fan of it. Don't get me wrong. Like, when I was young, I was like, I don't want to hear that. Like, that wasn't what I really wanted to hear. As I got older, I started understanding, like, nah, this is it. Like, this is dope.
We never wanted to respect our parents' music. It's like, if they're listening to it, then that's some square shit. We need to find our own shit.
So it gave me that, as I grew up older, and I started seeing my godbrother DJing, and he used to DJ, and then DJ McNice, aka godbrother Diz now, because he's my godbrother, and he used to DJ in his crib, and his mom, he had a whole little setup. It was crazy, and I used to go up there, but they used to kick me out because I was whack.
A word?
Yeah, they used to kick me out because I was whack, and then I got like equipment.
You gotta start somewhere.
And then everybody wanted to come to my crib when they started seeing I had the dope equipment, and started getting shit. And they saw like, I kept going, and that's what happened. Like I just grabbed onto it. Like I just saw like I was that little chubby kid in front of the DJ outside in the park, and I wanted to see what he was doing. How was he doing it? Why was everybody dancing to what he was doing? It was just the music. The music was the end all be all to everything. They had that, like I still get chills thinking about it, because there was so many people like that would come through my projects and just set up in a basketball court and just start playing music.
So as a little kid, you were just on your recon mission. You were like standing right there, and you were really that was your school right there. You know, you were studying. You know,
let me tell you,
following the movements.
Let me tell you, my father was so strict, but I had this little tape recorder that it would have that one little speaker and the one, you know, the cassette and then the microphone. I lived on the 9th floor. When there was somebody DJing in the courts and I couldn't go outside, I would put the recorder in the outside the window to record it so I could listen back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was certain things like that I would do just so I could hear, and it would come out clear. Like, the recorder would be clear, like if I was outside, like if I was next to the speaker. Because that's how people used to bootleg stuff before anyway. They used to just put a little recorder in front of the speaker and record the whole show.
Oh, I remember all of that. Yeah, I remember when I had this little Sony Walkman that had a record button, and you could slip that little microphone into that. I would go right to the boombox and record that just so I could have it for later, because it was like, as a young kid, you know how tough it was to, you know, get my parents to bring us to the record store to, you know, to get rap music. And it's a funny story. The first rap, you know, record or tape that my parents ever bought for me and my brother, because we were break dancers, and you know, they were like, oh, this looks harmless, iced tea. Like, yeah, they had no idea. When me and my brother were running around the house going, oh gee, original gangster, they were like, what the? So yeah, that's real hip hop right there, though. You know, so what year would you say that you actually transitioned into, you know, being nice with it, you know, where you were getting the respect of your peers that originally said you were whack, and now you're really, you know, getting a name for yourself?
I mean, you know, the era of being whack is always I would say the first 5 years, but I wasn't really whack, but I still wasn't there.
You weren't on their level.
Right. I was practicing a lot. Like, I cut school and all that. Not saying to cut school to make your life better, but I'm just saying, like, at the time I did. And then I would say, you know, the movie Juice, and I can't stress this enough, changed my life.
One of my favorite movies.
When Queen Latifah does the audition with Q, and she's like, so you do parties?
Like, local.
I do mad party. That local part killed me. Like, in the movie, you watching it, you're like,
just that condescension that with Queen Latifah was like, yeah, you local. He's but like,
you know, it's crazy because I was doing all the clubs in the block. I was young in the clubs. I was DJing in a club in the Bronx called Parkside Plaza. I DJed at the New Savoy. I was DJing at the Fever. I DJed at this club called Freaky Friday. Like, I'm at all these clubs. I'm thinking I'm hot. But then everybody in my block and my projects, because, you know, the projects, they used to snap on you. They roast on you and stuff. So they would say, like,
it's the jungle right there.
You local. So then I was like, I don't like that shit. I'm about to change this shit. So it so happens my neighbor was friends with Doo-Wop.
Okay. DJ Doo-Wop?
DJ Doo-Wop, yeah. Wow.
DJ Doo-Wop. I listen to all old school, so I literally was just listening to one of his old school mixes where he's like, DJ Doo-Wop with some cats you ain't heard in a minute. Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, go.
Yeah.
I know y'all was coming, loving how we was coming in once again, 2 for the price of 1 of our guns under your chin. Yo, big fan of Doo-Wop.
So WAP, I didn't talk on my tapes. I was selling my tapes, but I didn't talk on my tapes. He like, nah, you got to talk on your tapes because this is the era of DJs talking on their tapes. I'm like, yo, I don't like my voice. I had my man Red Handed. He did the talking for me. He was like, nah, you got to do it. I gave him the tape being Red Handed.
The first time you hear your voice, you know, over the speakers, it's like, I don't like the way I sound.
And it's not it wasn't the way I sound. It was what I was saying. I didn't want to sound like everybody else.
Okay.
So that was the problem. Like, I didn't want to be it's all that and all that. word up, it's going down. You know what it is? Like giving you that
Party people,
flavor.
put your hands up.
Give you that flavor. Pay attention, it's going down. You know, I didn't want to be that, but I had to do that in order to accelerate into being where I'm at.
To
Like
get your name.
building my personality, building the character, the mannerism, like all that comes in a package.
That's your first step of branding yourself right there.
You know what I'm saying? So
shouting out, you know, getting people to understand your personality.
So and then when he took my tapes, after I did, he took me downtown to Stereo Palace before it became Stereo Plaza, is where they used to sell tapes on 125th Street. And this is 1992, the same year as Juice. And he had just finished dissing Kid Capri on mixtapes.
Okay.
So Kid Capri's last mixtape was December 91. Doo-Wop dropped his January of 92. Doo-Wop was large.
He hit the gate early, right after New Year's. He was like, boom.
So he was on and popping, right. So he dropped right after New Year's, that tape dropped, Doo-Wop is large. So
1992 was a big year for you.
Big year for me, hip hop, original flavor. Well, a little bit before that, Clark Kent was my mentor. So I used to go with Clark Kent, open up
DJ Clark Kent, legendary.
So I used to open up parties with Clark Kent. You know, and I don't want to jump all around, but I'm just trying to put the puzzle together. But WAP, the end all be all, was the way in for me to sell mixtapes and be heard. And my mixtape started selling through that.
Well, I mean, I bring up 1992 because that was a big year, because I believe that was also the year that you got shot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And thank God you are here with us, you know, now, because, I mean, the things that you've done in this game, you know, you deserve your accolades. And God forbid you didn't make it.
I appreciate that.
You know, there's some of the biggest artists out there that probably wouldn't have got their, you know, shine the way that they did. Like, if you want to talk instrumental, you know, and I'm not talking about the beats that rappers rap over. I'm talking about instrumental to the game. I heard a rumor that you took G Unit Records, made your own radio edit because they didn't have any radio edits.
True.
And that's how they got their first radio play, because of you.
Right.
Is that rumor true? If it is,
it's the truth.
All right. Well, hey, 50. Listen, I know he's the official DJ of G Unit, but I think maybe like, you know, maybe a roll on Power, you know, the next level, you know, maybe here and there. So yeah, I wanted to point that out because, you know, 1992, you know, New York. You're still in New York at that time, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm painting the picture for my audience that might be, you know, on the younger side of things, even though I'm old as dirt anyway. So 1992 New York is kind of the crack era, you know, like late 80s, early
get money.
90s. Right. It is the years of, you know, Juice, New Jack City, you know, really drug and gang culture really kind of invaded the streets at that time. So I wanted to speak on, you know, when you did get shot, how did that all go down? I don't know if it's still open case and you're allowed to talk about it or anything like that, but
yeah, that's that's dead and under the water. You know, I thank God I'm still here 28 years later. It happened in the same year of 92.
I said 92 was a big year. It's like all of a sudden DJ Doo-Wop drops it. Now all of a sudden you're visible, you know, in the whole game, and boom, you get shot.
You know, and right before that, Jay-Z, you know, was on the come up. I had first cat that ever put Jay-Z on a mixtape. You know, I had Jay freestyling on my mixtapes before he even did songs. Like a lot of his freestyles was later on songs.
Was Original Flava, wasn't that his first video ever?
Nah, that's not his first video. His first video ever would be Hawaiian Sophie.
Oh, okay. So,
and see, it would be Originators and Hawaiian Sophie, those two videos.
Okay.
Jazzo.
Oh, with Jazzo. All right. See, I'm getting my years a little confused. I mean, I've also been drinking a little bit, so I might have a whole bunch of things, running through my brain at different times. So, how long did it take you to recover when you did get shot?
It was like, I had to stay in the hospital for a while because where I got shot at was in my face, and it went out my back. So they just kept me for observation for like about a couple of days, and thank God that it hit no arteries, and then it didn't do anything to me.
Yeah, it
Like,
didn't mess up. It didn't. You're still a handsome man, pause.
thank you.
So didn't mess up anything like that. So takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So I respect that.
God is good. You know what I mean, and I thank God every day for my blessings and waking up, because I've seen people die. We've heard and seen people die next to nothing in
That's a fact.
minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in car accidents. I almost killed Jay-Z in original Flava. I mean, I've been I've been a lot of I've been near death a few times in my life.
How'd you almost kill Jay-Z? Because we can't just skip right over that. So
Well, it wasn't just Jay-Z, it was Jay-Z, original Flava, and Dame Dash.
Dame Dash.
So I was coming out of the club. I just finished doing the club, Parkside Plaza in the Bronx, and they came to get me in my projects. Everybody's tired. We was out. Everybody was out. Hanging out, whatever. Because we had to go do BT at the time. BT Rap City was in DC.
Okay.
So we had to, drive all the way there.
New York to DC, Bronx to DC.
Right. So we got there, and it was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, they were like, yo, you gotta drive. I was like, yo, why I gotta drive? Because I'm tired. Won't somebody else drive? Then I'll drive after. You know what I mean? Like, I just finished DJing. I had crates. These are milk crates, bringing them upstairs. I lived on the 9th floor, the elevator, like carrying the crates, like,
People that don't know, carrying a crate, it's a milk crate. It's a
milk
plastic,
crate. I didn't have no cases at the time.
That has weight to it already,
Yeah.
and it's a little awkward. And now that's filled, stacked with records,
Right.
and records like one record, okay, but 100 records. DJs back in the day, they really
everything was a double. Everything was a double.
What's in your Serato right now, he had the physical copies, So these DJs today, they have no idea. They come with a flash drive. They come with a laptop, fits in a nice little, like backpack. They come in, set up, plug in, and they good. And they call themselves DJs.
Well, you can't take that away from those that learn in the era that they learn in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't knock anybody that's a DJ. I always say that the best thing a DJ could do in whatever era, learn the era before that.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying?
Learn the foundation.
So if you're not from the Biggie and Pac era, learn that era. Learn the Tribe Called Quest. Learn the Busta Rhymes. Learn the leaders of the new school. Learn what Daz Effects was. Learn what KRS was. I
remember talking to this one rapper, like one of the younger kids, like the, sipping lean, tattoos on the face, type of rappers. And I was trying to educate him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I listen to Tupac, and stuff like that." And I was like, "You ever heard of Sean Price?" Mm-hmm. He's like, "No." I was like, "Sean the Barbarian." I was like, "Sean P."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "You've never heard of him?" He's like, "No." I was like, "How are you even here right now?" But anyway, how'd you almost kill Jay-Z and Dame Dash? We'll talk about all that.
So as we arguing and debating about who's gonna drive, I'm telling them that I'm tired too. They're like, "Nah, you gotta drive." I'm like, "All right." So Dame with the loud mouth and all this, and I like, "All right, if something happens, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody." I warned everybody, like, "Yo, if I fall asleep, I don't want to hear nothing." Driving, probably like an hour, probably an hour 40, like a little bit more than that, because we made it to Delaware. So at the minute that we made it to Delaware, We riding out. And right at that point, I dozed off. Like, I totally dozed off. I just felt the car moving from side to side. The car, like,
now it's before they had those little things after the yellow line, like where
yeah,
it
they
kind of
didn't
wakes
have
you
that.
up.
It didn't have that. Like,
Yeah.
that you get that, you wake up. It didn't have that. It was straight, just straight going. So it went under like a path with like a bridge on top, and where the car, when the car finally stopped from going side to side, because it almost flipped over, but I, caught the weight back, and where it stopped, it almost hit the wall.
Oh, shit.
So right when I stopped it, everybody's, like, oh shit, what the fuck? Dame out the
You almost
gate.
killed Rockefeller Records before it even started.
Fuck, you almost killed us. I like, yo, I told y'all, man. I was tired too. I told y'all. So Jay wakes up, don't even say nothing. So Jay wakes up, mad cool, like, and he goes, give me a gum. Because I used to carry gum and mint and stuff. So I gave him a gum. He chews a joint. I like, all right, I'm getting out. So he's kicking me out of the car. So I go, all right. I told y'all ain't listen to me. So Dame is still barking. So I was going to go sit in the back seat. And Jay like, nah, in the back. I was like, all right, I'm going to sleep on your clothes. I don't care. I slept comfortable. When I got there, what's up? Oh, we here?
Yeah. What's for breakfast?
And like, this nigga try to kill us, man. I was like, yo, I told y'all I was tired, man. Y'all was sleeping. Everybody sleeping. Like, what you gonna do to the next person that's not asleep?
Man,
you turn around and you look and everybody sleep. Like, what we gonna do?
And you just finished DJing. It's like, I mean, they should know, like you, and it's not like you're like sitting there like pushing a button, you're actually doing it, with the crowd.
I worked hard.
Well, thank you for not killing, one of the greatest lyricists, and rappers of all time. And I see that my boy Rob Love just joined.
Wow. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Hey, yo, can you come upstairs to the third floor, please?
Yeah, Rob, unmute your phone. I don't know if your camera ready, but you can show your handsome face if you'd like.
Can you come upstairs? Yeah, it's open, please. Thank you. All right, thank you. Sorry, Rob, man, I had to order some food.
I'm always camera ready. What you talking about?
There he is.
Wow, my brother Rob Love.
DJ Chubby Chub, what up,
my brother Rob Love, the legendary Def Jam starter.
In the building, Rob Love. I just popped out here to get in some good trouble. You know what I'm saying?
I see you doing. Salute to you and your new platform out there. I see you doing a lot of interviews, man.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. I made the decision, man, that I wasn't gonna let, anybody else tell my story, and for me being there and growing with hip hop and in the culture, it's only right for me to show people, exactly how many, how much I've made an impact in the industry. So, that's why, and plus I wanted to give people opportunities to share stories that, that they can't get anywhere else. You know what I mean? And, everybody's kind of, when artists get interviewed, they all kind of go through tell the same stories, and people want to hear something that they never heard before. I appreciate it. So with me, knowing that I've been around hip hop and hip hop culture for so long, I can ask the right questions that was spark the memory in the recollection, and get them to talk about things that nobody knew. You know what I mean? So I with this pandemic, I had to go into a plandemic, and that was a part of the plan. So salute to you. And what I want to say about DJ Chubby Chub is Chubby Chub is so important to the hip hop culture, especially as it relates to the mixtape culture, because Chub was in a market that didn't really have radio crazy, and you know, and the Hot 97, the nucleus of hip hop New York was, you know, the signal. You know, you can barely, you had to have super duper antennas.
Right.
There was no online presence. So you know, Hot 97 may have came in while you know, on your way through Connecticut to Boston, and you might caught a little glimpse of it, but you didn't get to hear the new joints. You didn't get to hear Clue play the new joints and Flex play the new joints. You know, and so mixtapes were the only way that you would hear the new music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a Mr. Magic, you know, on the station out there. So, and they didn't really play hip hop like that. Right. So, Chubby Chub, salute to you for being courageous enough to stay and keep your finger on the pulse of what was next in hip hop, and put it on your mixtapes and play it in the clubs, and on when you got on the radio, to also duplicate that, you know, on your radio show. So salute to you, man. You're a legend, brother.
Thank you, my brother, and also thank you for always sharing, you know, the extra exclusives for me. Even though, you know, Clue used to get a lot of things before me, it's cool, but the fact that you always kept me in the loop, and we always had a great relationship was dope for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you know, it's refreshing to see you grow. You know, from where you were, you know, in the grind. It was like, yo, nah, I'm hip hop. I gotta keep this going, and then see you on stage, you know, with one of the major hip hop artists of our culture. You know, you know, as the director, the music supervisor, the man behind, you know, the man behind the artist, man. It was a pleasure to see you, and it was a proud moment for me, because, you know what I'm saying, I know all the humble beginnings, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're still humble endings. I look forward to all the blessings, and, you know, with all the struggles that we go through, we just know how to multitask and still make it happen.
That's right. That's right. Look at not being able to go to the clubs now and DJ. You know, you guys are, you know, taking your platform and using social media. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you're shifting. You're being disruptive to, you know, like Zuckerberg and Instagram. They had no idea that this was going to happen for them like that.
Right.
You know, and the DJs created that culture. So, you know, we've been respecting the DJs since day one. So, you know what I'm saying? Salute to all the DJs out there and the culture creators.
Definitely. Def Jam was definitely about the DJs.
Yes, indeed. All day, every day. And, you know, and I remember times when, you know, you guys had to come up to the office and get the vinyl. And, you know, we may have like the white label situation where you only can get one copy.
Yeah, I'll never forget, like, Redman Tonight's the Night remix. It was only giving away one copy, but then you gave me the 2 copies. I ain't never say that to nobody, but I got 2 copies. I wasn't mad.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we made some adjustments when we needed to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it was really all about the consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was also, you know, regurgitated with the support. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like my name was ringing on the mixtapes, you know, in that era. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because why wouldn't you shout me out on the mixtape? Is I'm the guy that gave you the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? So,
no doubt.
You know what I'm saying? So you guys helped my brand as well coming through the ranks.
Yep, it was definitely Thais Harris, Rob Love, OJ Wetlaw.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, that's where, you know, mixtapes was a different type of pattern for a lot of people. A lot of people don't, you know, they don't really realize how. I could remember, like, as being, like, before going to a record label without Clark Kent. When I went by myself, they'd be like, yo, you only could get this. When Clark be like, yo, this is my little man. He opened up. I came out with records that was in boxes.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that opportunity was like a big opportunity because vinyl was so big, and getting exclusive and you know the test pressings of these records is something big. Like if you ain't have that connect, man, you ain't gonna have the right records to play.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
It's all about the relationship, and the fact that we're talking right now. It's like the label, with the DJ. It's all about the relationship. I feel like that's a little bit of the grassroots love of hip hop that kind of has been a little bit lost or kind of forced on today's society. So it's like when you see the relationship building, how it has been sustained for 20 plus years since the golden era of hip hop. It was all about the relationships. It's like if the DJ was a dick, the label was not fucking with him. If the label was a dick, the DJ wasn't fucking with him. Yeah, it's kind of had to in certain situations, but it's all about the relationship building and the consistency in which you guys fuck with each other. So I appreciate.
But at the end, not to cut you off, but at the end of the day, a lot of DJs, ego is like a big thing for a lot of cats, right? But knowing how to preserve, let's say like a radio promotion guy like Rob Love, he would know how to sway that. You see what I'm saying? Some cats didn't know how to sway that. Where you had the dickhead DJ or the DJ that wasn't responsive to a certain song. You know what I mean? I could name a bunch of songs that we got and nobody really played. But
that's right.
If you was a person that was like me, I was always into hearing new shit. Like I can remember getting Sherm Stick, Jail Felony. Right?
Oh, wow, I took it back.
No, I'm being honest. I got this vinyl, but I seen him perform in Gavin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we went to San Francisco for that because we performed at them joints. That's the first time we've seen Bone Thug, and Jail Felony was performing in this dark room, but it was packed. But nobody back home knew what the hell was Sherm Stick was. You know what I'm saying? Like, for Def Jam to pick that up was crazy. A lot of cats didn't, they kind of like missed the ball on that record, but then later they look for the beat and you look for certain things. And I'd be like, wow, that's crazy because I've been heard that. And I always played it. Like my mixtapes had it. Like I was always that like risk taker.
Yeah, that was like cultural nomenclature. And I mean, West Coast had their own playlist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just like the East Coast did. And just like the South, And Sherm Stick was banging on the West, but wasn't really received or didn't get as much playing time.
Didn't get crate space in a lot of DJs on the East Coast, with the vinyl.
Right.
Cats didn't take chances, that's why.
Well, not only that, they were just, a lot of them wasn't even going outside of their comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? They weren't going out to San Francisco and the Bay and Tennessee and Jackson, Mississippi. You know what I'm saying?
Alabama, Mobile, Alabama,
Virginia. You know what I'm saying? They was New York, Virginia. Even Miami had their whole different playlist. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of times when people would go to my DJs would go to Miami for Memorial Day weekend, they'd come back and be like, yo, this record right here was ringing off from Miami. And then start playing in New York. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The days of exclusives. Now, once it's leaked on social media, it's like boom. I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Especially because and I'm glad we could get both perspectives. Spotify playlists is the new exclusive mixtape because the space on the most exclusive playlists is just as valuable as the yesteryear placement on the mixtape. because I mean, everything right now is placement. So it's like I remember coming up how hard it was to get on like a Clue mixtape, you know, or any mixtape, period. It's like you needed to know the person, to even, to even get there. Now it's a pay-to-play Spotify playlist. It's a whole little fucking corrupt pyramid scheme business. And I just want to get your opinion on it. It's like, what do you feel about it?
Well, let me go real quick because I gotta jump on that in a minute. This battery's about to die for some crazy reason. But anyway, yeah, I think that they took the same. They took the.
Rob with mute.
And they created the stream format of mixtapes. That's all Spotify is a playlist that, the music that you like all in one space. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, premium position on some of the most popular playlists is like back in like the mid 90s getting like a placement on like a G Unit mixtape or a Clue mixtape or even in the early 90s on a DJ Doo-Wop mixtape. So it's like placement. So they basically just taken the grassroots street format for what we know back from the mid 90s, and now they just basically switched it into a digital sense where now the Spotify playlist on some of like top platforms are just the hot mixtapes that were popping in the mid 90s. But I know your phone's about to die. I appreciate you taking your time. I feel like this was not the Verified podcast. This was a behind the records, invasion right here. So for all my people on my platform, check out Rob Love. Thursday nights on the East Coast. He has a dope show, Behind the Records. Some of your favorite artists, the people that created them. He's the man, like legendary icon right here. I can't wait for him to get like his star on the Walk of Fame because he deserves it.
No, he definitely does, and salute to him and everything he's ever accomplished. And I'm shocked to see him in a T-shirt and a hat because he's always Mr. Dress Sharp. You know what I mean? Rob is always Rob been on his grown man shit before niggas turned grown men. You know what I mean?
Right, that's right. Look, if you're my friend on Facebook, you go to my Facebook page, you see a picture of me in a tan sucker suit with a shirt on, and I had on wingtips. That was in '88.
That's what I'm saying. He was always Mr. Sharp, and a cigar.
That's right.
And a cigar, man.
Like, man, for sure.
Rob is legendary.
I'm killing. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my pajamas. I can't see the lower half. I have like in pajamas.
Listen, I've been telling people. Listen, Rob Love is a pimp. He is not a former music executive. You guys don't even know. But Rob, thank you so much for taking your time, man. You enjoy your weekend. I'm gonna chop it up with you soon. Always love, baby.
Salute, man. Peace, God.
Thanks, brother.
That's crazy. Rob Love, salute.
Hey, listen, I try to pull out all the stops. Listen, legendary DJ, legendary Def Jam icon, hopefully legendary podcast. Everything just kind of goes together. You know what I'm saying? So, so I hope that was a good treat. I was supposed to.
Nah, that was dope.
Hey, no problem. I mean, I was we would have had Teddy Ted and Special K from the Awesome 2, but
those are my guys.
Right, they had scratch vision at at 8, and so they said, oh, it's like if we had more time to do it, but they send all the salute in the world. So I mean, I'm connected to a lot of different people, as you see.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I'm not like name dropping or anything like that, but these are people that all like basically have given their flowers to you and said, yo, because I reached out, I was like, tell me a cool story about about Chubby Chub. They're like, well, I can tell you. His work ethic is like no other. Shows love to everyone. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the most underrated that should be super famous. But you play a humble approach. You don't step in the forefront and tell motherfuckers, yo, I'm like one of the originators. Like, if you realize the impact that I had, you would give me my respect. You would put some respect on my name. So that's why I'm happy you took the time to be on the Verified podcast.
No, I'm glad to be here, man. I'm glad to be here. And I could tell you a story about Special K, Teddy Ted.
Let me hear.
They legendary. I used to listen to their show when I lived in New York. They used to be on 105.1. But they was working a guy out of Boston. His name was Edo G. His name is Edo G. But before I came to Boston, I played Edo G's music on my mixtape.
Okay.
And they had ends on PW Records, PWL Records, Teddy Ted and Special K. That's how I met them. Because I played his record on a mixtape before I even came to Boston.
So you broke the record.
I played it on mixtape.
Okay.
And then later my mixtapes was selling in Roxbury at a store that was called Funky Fresh Records. That was the first out-of-town store I had before even coming to Boston.
See what I'm saying? That's how you brand and market yourself. When you get out of the local zone and out of town has the music that you've been playing, that's how you used to get. That's how DJs used to get their name. Like exclusives was everything. Who had the joint first? Who did the labels bless with first?
But see, I learned that through my tapes, I created dirt. So my dirt was underground.
Yep.
And that was my exclusives because everybody else already was getting the
popular records.
The early popular records. And I was like, I gotta find another niche that shows where I can go with it. And that's what happened. I ended up taking records that was like, there was a store called Fat Beats.
Of course.
In New York. And they had all the underground artists, like Mr. Complex, Killer Army.
Shout out to Don Pacino. That's my man right there.
El Sensei. It was so many people that that were young and they was rocking.
Max the Ace, like they had all the exclusives,
like the Raggedy Man. Before that, he was Crucified Dibs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize he had a record with Biggie before Biggie was Biggie.
Crazy.
You see what I'm saying? Like these records, I was already playing, and a lot of cats wasn't playing those records. Like he had a record called Bloodshed, and Raggedy still remembers that to this day.
Back in the day, the DJ needed to be able, in order for you to be heard as an artist, like there was no social media. I know it's hard for the kids today to understand. It's like if the DJ did not play your music, you would have had to like get your boombox with the double tape, and literally start making tapes, and handing them out for free, like a lot of people did,
right.
But before that, it's like the DJs, if they didn't play your music, nobody heard you. And if the DJs didn't fuck with you, nobody was gonna fuck with you.
Right.
Especially because you're only, you're going from spot to spot to spot to spot within, your own surroundings. So word gets around. So it's like, oh no, that record's whack. Because DJs talk. So, so I understand. So but I do appreciate, all your time, and I know you're eating, and I don't want to,
Nah, that's cool. I'm just a little light snack, man. I can't really eat the way I used to eat anymore, so I just having a light little pizza snack. Excuse me.
Hey, listen. I want you to be comfortable. That's what this is all about. The fact that, unfortunately, because of this whole COVID shit,
right?
We're in an alternate universe where we're forced to evolve at a very exponential rate that we're not really used to.
It's the new norm.
We can adapt, but I see a lot of people going through a lot of shit. So it's like,
and you gotta send them prayers and blessings, man.
I do. And I live very safely because until the vaccine is really here, I take things you know, with a grain of salt from what I hear from the politicians, because I'm more of a trust in science, and there's
Right.
a very big anti-science world that's out there, which is to me
Mind blowing.
just fucking crazy. How you can't believe in science, you know, is that is a whole nother podcast, my brother. And this is about I don't even want to do that. But listen, I wanted to, you know, highlight a bunch of the shit that you've done in your life. The fact that Rob Love was able to jump on and be able to, you know, share his wisdom, you know, with the experiences that you and him have had over the glory years of hip hop, you know, is a testament to the legendary stature, you know, that you have. And I know that when the hip hop history book is penned down, your name will certainly be in it. So I like to do.
I would like to think that.
Listen, there you go. Listen, there's no need to be humble. You let motherfuckers know. Be like, yo, I invented this shit. I started this gangster shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I get. Shit.
I put a lot of footprints and a lot of things, and with a lot of artists, and you know, I'm just thankful that I was able to experience that. I've seen, you know, decades of different eras of music.
Listen, I respect your contribution to this world of hip hop and music, because not only in radio, but the relationships that you've made have allowed some of our favorite artists to shine and become billionaires. Like, let me put that into perspective. Without, let's see, how can I say this without sounding so morbid? And listen, I get lit and I get fly and I get drunk and I get high all the time. So right now, if you can see my eyes, I am fucking bent. But in 90,
that's dope.
In 92, if you didn't pull through, Jay-Z ain't meeting Beyonce.
Well, you know, we don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
And listen, you know the theory of the butterfly effect. You know, like you drop a ripple into the water, and one ripple becomes another ripple becomes another ripple. So now, I don't want to like create an alternate universe, but it's almost like if you went left instead of going right, you know, at 6:30 in 1996, you might never have met that girl that you slept with that night and did this or did that. So I call it the butterfly effect. But let's just say,
right,
for argument's sake, you know, this is my story. Let me tell it real fast. You know, in 92, if you didn't pull through, nobody would, Jay-Z would not have the stature that he has today. 50 and G-Unit would never have been able to, well, I mean, their music was dope. So let me not say it. And plus that, you know, I don't want to get shot or anything like that. So, but without this man taking those records and making his own radio edits, because they didn't make radio edits at that time.
Right.
For him to give them a platform without, did they even know that you did that, or you just did that on your own? And
I mean, they knew that, like, you know, they knew that. They knew
okay,
it.
so they were like, all right, yeah, you got my blessing. Yeah, make a radio edit. So without you taking that chance, they might never have shined like they did.
And I had to explain myself to program directors.
Program director.
You know what I mean? Like it was real challenging. Like it, like, you know, the program director, so he's not gonna make it. He's not ever gonna be out. I was like, yo, the streets is eating this up. And he's like, nah, he's not gonna make it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm still gonna play it.
Program directors back now, I mean, I think they still are now, but program directors, they're kind of dickish. You know, they need to see.
Nah,
like,
they gotta guard it. They gotta guard their ways of certain things being done without really having the approval.
Got it.
Like they gotta be it's like
in that corporate environment, it's very weird in radio without like the open format platform, like, you know, that is kind of prevalent now. But back then, you couldn't really do that.
It's kind of hard because, you know, the average person is always gonna have an ego, right? And it doesn't matter who you are. You're always gonna have an ego. I'm arrogant when I'm on stage because I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
You're a master swordsman, ready to fucking samurai the shit out of people.
You know, I know exactly what I need to do. I don't have to have folders and folders. If I see the crowd, I'm going where I'm going. It doesn't matter if it's to the left or it's to the right, I'm going. I don't have to have records to have them all in one folder. I can go off of muscle memory. That's what makes me more of the talented aspect of a DJ. Like, I don't got to second guess. Like, I can go and test something and know, and then when I'm from there, I'm gone. The crowd is in a different type of frenzy. So everybody has an ego, and when it comes to certain program directors, they're going to say, I know exactly what needs to be done. This is true. This is why you got the job. But the DJ plays a big part. Because if the DJ is playing a record that's not on the radio and it's playing in a club, you got to check yourself. But I get it. There's a lot of numbers. There's a lot of stats.
Red tape.
So the number game plays a big part. Oh, this record doesn't have enough this, or this record doesn't have enough numbers for that. But, you know, at one time, if the record had a good feel, it was a go.
I feel you. I always said that the relationship between program director and DJ is kind of like a human body. One is the brain and one is the heart. They kind of can't function without each other. The DJ is always to the streets and knows what's gonna rock.
Absolutely.
Sees firsthand, you know, what works in the club at what time, and you know what's gonna bang and what's not. So it's like for the program directors to not really let the DJ kind of, you know, do his thing. That's why you have your job. They have their job for their reason. You got your job because you know that music, you know, and DJs,
right.
You respect music on a higher level. Musicians and DJs respect music on such a higher platform. So it's like, we're not just going to take a chance on anything and disrespect our name, because at the end of the day, if it flops, you know, we might be out of a job.
Yeah, it's on you. It's definitely on you. So, I mean, like, and, you know, I broke a lot of records, man. I thank God for those blessings. I could remember an Usher record, Do You Remind Me? You remind me, right? And I played it.
I sent that to girls that like, yo, Usher, like, help me out, bro. It's like, you know, I used to send the Usher Jayz, the very best thing. I used to be like, yo, I was like, you know, the very best thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So that record, I played it one day during the drive time at 5 o'clock. And the personality was the program director as well. He's like, that record's not going to be it for him. I said, you're bugging. This record is going to chart, and this record is going to be out of here.
Who is that program director? Let's disgrace
my good friend Lamar Robinson, a.k.a. Little Big Daddy.
Yo, Little Big Daddy. He sounds like he's a big guy.
Little guy.
Little guy. Okay, well, yeah, you fucked up big time. Let me tell you. But I'm sorry. It's your connection.
He's still a good friend of mine. I did his wedding and all that. But I'm just saying that, you know, certain program directors gave me the light. Some would kind of like fight me, but I get it. And I learned sometimes you can't be the one to do everything. Sometimes you got to let people feel like they did the job.
Unfortunately, you got to sometimes, I mean, my parents always told me in school, it's like, listen, sometimes you just gotta play the teacher's game. Like let them feel empowered, but just do the work. You know, get through it. You know, and you'll make it happen. So, but yo, listen, I appreciate you taking so much time and sharing these fucking golden stories. I definitely want to have you back because
let me know, man. I'll be more than happy to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much shit that we just like didn't get to, but it's like, you know, if we keep on going, this is gonna be like a DJ Vlad, you know, like thing where it's like 3 hours long, you know. So, but yeah, let's stay in contact and
definitely.
You know, the last thing I'm gonna say is your contribution and your tenure to this music game is, I mean, it's priceless. You can't put a price tag on it. So, from all the people that really love hip hop, please look into my man DJ Chubby Chub's story, because without him, there would be a lot of them. Okay, I'm not gonna start naming those names, but you know, it's like him taking a chance on them really put them on the map. You know, if the DJ, you know, sets the tone, you know what I'm saying? It's like the artist is the paintbrush, but the DJ chooses the color in which the canvas, you know what I'm saying, is going to display. So I appreciate you in every way.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell up my lovely audience before I like fall over, because I'm crippled right now. Hey, listen, it's Friday night. I mean, I'm getting lit. I mean, it's a pandemic. I'm not driving anywhere, not doing anything. I'm single. I'm probably break a fucking wall down or something. But tell my lovely audience where they can find you on Instagram, and make sure you guys look for the blue check, because without the blue check, it's not correct.
and I'm thankful for that. It's crazy. Before we go any further, I did have to fill out 3 times, and the 3rd time was a charge for that blue check.
Oh, did you? I mean, I got a funny fucking story of how I got verified, but that's for like, I mean, I'll tell you offline. I mean, I did not pay for it. I
didn't pay for mine.
It's like get out of here. It's like, fuck out of here with that shit.
I didn't pay for mine. It was definitely you had to fill out. It's simple. Like, a lot of people don't understand, but you have to have the resume and the story.
You gotta be somebody. The guy who verified, shout out to Bob from Instagram who called me. I'll tell you offline. It's a fucking funny story. You know, but people, don't pay for any of those people that say, I can get you verified.
I can get you followers.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, it's crazy. It's like
it is whack, because if you buy followers, Instagram know that your page is bogus.
Of course.
So they're not gonna verify you. So
and
they're not gonna verify you if you're private. You can't have a private page.
Listen, your friends know that you might have been popular at one time, but you are not popular enough to get 737 likes in 3.2 seconds.
Yeah. So you gotta put in the work for it, man. So a lot of people be like, yo, how you get the blue check? What you pay for? I like, why would I pay for that?
I hate that question. It's like,
I hate that.
You asking me, yo, how'd you get verified? Like, it's like you asking me how I got verified is you not doing your due diligence to see that I should be verified.
True. And I tell people, it's simple. If you Google it, they'll tell you how to do it. Or you just go simply right into the app and fill it out.
Is there a way to fill it out?
Yeah, there's a way to fill it out in the app.
So why you motherfuckers keep asking me how to do it? Like, you guys know how to do it. Like, I mean, I got a call.
Just a lot of people don't understand. They don't know.
I mean, listen, a couple of years ago, I got a call. I might as well fucking tell it. Fuck, who cares? I got a little bit left. This is my last sip. So. Sunday afternoon, I'm lit. Now, I live alone, so I'll take anything as amusement or excitement, you know, and I'll use it. So I was in one of those like crazy moods. You ever get in one of those moods where you're just like, fuck it, who cares? So I get a call. And now it says unavailable. So the only places that show unavailable are like out of the country or prison, or it's all zeros. So, and I have a couple of friends that were locked up at the time. So I was like, all right. I was like, maybe it's them. I was like, it's Sunday afternoon. I'm lit. It's like, I have a conversation. Pick up the phone. Guy's like, he's like, hi, is this JopauL? I was like, yeah, who's this? He's like, this is Bob from such and such company doing business as Instagram or whatever the fuck it was. I forgot the name that he used. It doesn't even matter. So, but the whole point is, I'm like, all right. I was like, this guy's trying to scam me. I was like, it's Sunday afternoon. So I go, what's up, Bob? He's like, you've been recommended for a verification badge. And I was like, Bob. I was like, how much is this going to cost me? He's like, no, sir, it doesn't work like that. I was like, he's like, listen, I just need to verify a couple of information. I was like, Bob. You need my social, don't you? I was like, you need my social. He's like, no, sir, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. He's like, listen, I just need to verify a couple of things, and I was like, Bob, how'd you get my number anyway? And he's like, you've been recommended by you've been recommended by somebody. This is like 3 years ago, so this is weird. So you've been recommended by somebody, and I can't tell you who it is. So, like, all right, no doubt. So, I was like, Bob, I was like, really? I was like, we could just save this time. I was like, just tell me how much this is going to cost. I was like, because I didn't believe it, because it's like, why would this be happening right now? And then all of a sudden he's like, listen, sir. He's like, listen, were you known as Lyric Enforcer? And I was like, yes, I was. I was like, how can I help you? My attitude completely changed. He was like, listen, I just need to verify who you are. It's like, and who was on the other end of this phone. So I need to know, we have your Billboard article, we have your Team People article, we have everything that we need, that's in place. And we just need to verify that it's you. Like, send us this, that's it. So I was like, you sure you don't need any money? He's like this. He's like, have a good day. And I on the phone, I sent it in on the text number that he sent me, and then within like 3 hours, boom, I'm verified. So I was like, thanks, Bob, appreciate it. So that was a very interesting Sunday afternoon. But this is before like you could like fill out anything or do anything to like get you verified. You had to, I guess, get recommended by the mafia, And,
there's a lot of people that get recommended too by certain artists.
Okay, and they just remain.
They'll see probably what you're doing, and certain artists that have the badge or they have external amount of people, they can really say, hey, you should verify him.
Hey, there we go. Well, fuck it. Listen, I'm verified. That's how it is, and we're on the
beautiful thing.
Yeah. Listen, my brother, thank you so much for taking your time. DJ Chubby Chub. We are the Verified Podcast, brought to you by Radio Pushes and ResultsOfNoHype.com. We were just chopping it up with legendary DJ Chubby Chub. Thank you for all your wisdom and your insight. We're definitely going to have you back. My brother, I salute you. One love.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it.
Peace.